So the Fed just cut rates for the third time in 2024. The first time was back in September. The second time was back in November. And now we have the third rate cut. And we have to talk about this. We have to address this. But I also want to address a lot of information in this video, including, of course, XRP, Bitcoin, crypto, and even the macro, because it seems as though a lot of people are panicking right now around the macro economy. They're saying, Nick, everything is looking dim. It looks like everything is done. It looks like this was just a nice little run up in the markets and now everything is finished. And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see fear in the streets. We want to see the bloodbath lead to a flush of the market. The weak hands, they are getting shaken out. And I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that this is not the top. This is not, the last move in the market. We have yet to actually see altcoins heat up in a large way, similar to alt seasons in the past previous cycles. And in this video, I want to address a lot of that. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And also, if you guys are not in the free Discord, what are you guys waiting for? It's the first link down in the description below. Join up. You won't regret it. Now, focus on the dates here. September 19th was the first rate cut. It was actually by 0.5 BPS. The second one was November by 0.25 BPS. And then, of course, we got another 0.25 BPS, or basis points, if you will, by the Fed on December 18th. So December 18th, November 7th, and September 19th. We're going to focus on those dates as we do continue forward because they are important, and I will address why. But first, let's actually look at the overall reaction after. 1.5 trillion was wiped out from the US stock market today. Now, real quick, I want to take a step back because I uploaded a video yesterday and I said urgent update. And a lot of people thought that it was just clickbait. In fact, I had a lot of comments on that video saying, Nick, this is clickbait, or Nick, you were wrong. The market's just dumped out, because I said that this will lead to the markets pumping again. The key word there is it will lead to, right? Lead. Not immediately pump the markets, but lead to the markets pumping. I want to stress this again because we're going to go over this. Is the rate cuts bullish for crypto? Technically speaking, yes, they are. I have proof to show you guys that the rate cuts have typically led to the markets heating up in a large way. But first, I want to address the fact that these markets were already red hot prior to the FOMC meeting. I put in the title urgent update because it was an urgent update. I was warning you guys of the volatility. I was warning you guys to have stablecoins on the sidelines. I was warning you guys to have deep buy orders in place because I expected volatility, just like every single FOMC meeting going back to years ago. I mean, if we go all the way back to the bear market, 2022, January of 2023, we had an FOMC meeting. And if you guys were here during that time, volatility was absolutely crazy. There was billions of dollars liquidated in hours. And this is in 2023. Today, volatility is still at all-time highs with these meetings. On top of this, if we look at crypto, on the hourly, on the daily, and on the weekly, we are seeing mostly red across the board. I bring up the monthly and I bring up the yearly because I want you guys to understand that the market is still red hot, even with the significant wipeout of stocks and the significant pullback in crypto. HBAR on the monthly up 112%, XRP up over 100%, XLM up almost 70%, Algorand up almost 60%. There is still strong gains across the board here. And when you look at the yearly, again, it's even more significant with 200% plus gains across the board for a lot of these projects that we hold. XLM, HBAR, XRP. So if we're thinking about this, crypto is still red hot. The market is still red hot. We're now starting to see the fear and greed index resetting. We're almost back down to greed. Bitcoin trading at $100,000 roughly. We're seeing Ethereum trading at almost 3,600, roughly. XRP also getting hit substantially, by the way, sitting at about $2 and like 30 some cents. But if you look at the 30-day gainers, you look at the 60-day gainers, and you look at the 90-day gainers, look at those gains. HBAR is up 400% plus on the 60-day. XLM up almost 300%. XRP up over 340%. I mean, the gains across the board for crypto are substantial. So the markets were red hot prior to the FOMC meeting. The FOMC meeting just sprinkled a little bit more on top to have a reset completely of the market and the sentiment. Now, if we are looking at this and we're addressing the market, this is the total right now. This is the total crypto market cap. I have the past 2 rate cut decisions. The first rate cut was off of the lows, okay? We already had that substantial pullback in August. We had that substantial pullback in the beginning of September as well. Then we get the rate cut decision towards the end of September. Typically, the fall time is bullish for crypto regardless. So during this time, the market was already starting to pump off of the lows of the September 6th candle. And we could actually see that on the board, right? This was roughly, a 200... it was roughly a 15% gain, $266 billion gain in the total crypto market cap. And by the end of the day, on the day that we actually got the rate cut, it was up over almost 19%, $342 billion. It continued to pump over 26, almost 0.5%, $479 billion. Then we get the second rate cut. Now, this is off of the November lows. Most of the market was already dead at this point. Altcoins were in shambles. Anyone that was looking at altcoins was saying there's no way that, we're going to see altcoin moves at all. And this is exactly when the market started to heat up. Okay? This is off of the second rate cut. We were already starting to pump here, though, because on that day, we were already up 16.29%, up almost $356 billion. And we continued to push even higher, up over 70, almost 1%, $1.5 trillion. Now, I bring this up because these are the last 2 rate cuts that led to these types of moves, and it only accelerated it a little bit. But now we are having a pullback. So is this rate cut going to lead to further expansion? Well, I do believe that it will. But first, we have to cool off. We hit major resistance on these moves. And right now, off of the top, we are down roughly 9.23%. On the bottom of this candle is about 10.73%. I ask you guys, are you really concerned with these types of moves? In my opinion, you shouldn't be. If we go back to this whole year, okay, let's go all the way back to March. In March, we saw initially a 19% drop, followed by a 25% correction. And by the end, into August, we were down 37, almost 38% in total. That was the total correction. And it took a while for this to actually print in. But going off of this into November and into our December move, we were up 120%. We have to have corrections in order to have those substantial moves printed again on the board. So this move is most likely not done. It's most likely not finished. We'll have to watch, wait, and see. I hope for it to be finished. If we were going to have this move basically be our bottom before a much larger expansion, then we should hold around 3.35 trillion on the daily. We should not actually close below these lows from December 10th and December 11th. But if we do, then I am expecting a further drop here. This is down to the next level of support going back to November 26th and the 27th. This would be about roughly a 17% correction, or in dollar amount, $626 billion wiped out from the crypto market. Now, this would also be retesting some significant areas of support. Ultimately, we most likely wick down to this wick here, which is roughly the 2021 all-time high, to print in a total almost 19% correction, almost $700 billion. Now, the big thing to focus on is don't get concerned about this. Don't get worried or scared. This is normal price action. We can't just go up only forever. Now, the proof that the market was already heated up, it was already red hot. Look at the Google Trends searches. This is retail, by the way. This is retail searching for these terms. Bitcoin was red hot at almost all-time highs on this chart. Crypto also at almost all-time highs on this chart. Cheap crypto to buy. altcoins. It was there already. Now, again, a lot of people said, Nick, you were wrong. You were wrong, right? That's all I kept hearing yesterday because I said that this rate cut will eventually lead to the markets pumping again. I said, and this goes back 3 days ago on this XRP video, I said that we could potentially print in that head and shoulders pattern. This was the pattern from December 15th, mind you, that I was talking about in this video. Listen closely. Now, the big thing to focus on is just maintaining these lows. If we do lose it, what am I looking for? I'm looking for us to retest about $2.22. Reason why is because if we flip this and actually invert the overall chart, and this is why I do think that a much larger breakout is actually, brewing. We have a shoulder ahead, and I do think that we could see one more retest of $2.21 to put in another shoulder over here, aka a head and shoulders pattern. Now that was the pattern that I was calling for on XRP, and this is what the chart basically looked at on the 15th when I posted it at $2.41 or so. Now we did end up retesting around the neckline. I think that we actually hit like $2.70 on XRP. I'll look at the chart here in a second. But so far this has printed out perfectly. If we actually look at this, we have a failed breakout of the $2.70 level. Okay. And we have the second shoulder retest right around like $2.17. The candle body closes were well above the $2.20 level, but we ended up wicking down slightly lower than the first shoulder, which is to be expected on most of these moves. But I wasn't going to be too concerned at all when we did end up losing the overall first shoulder level, because typically that means that we're kind of overshooting it. We're, faking out this pattern. Right now, if we're actually looking at the chart, again, XRP is still not very bullish right now, but if we invert this and we actually look at this chart, again, same exact sort of pattern that is being printed out here on the second shoulder than the first shoulder. So that means that we should, range for a little bit. We might chop for a little bit. Eventually we will get back up to this $2.62 level, aka the neckline. When we do retest that neckline, I want to see us actually break over the failed breakout highs. So I want to see us reclaim $2.73. That should technically put us on a path to breaking those highs back here in the beginning of the month. But overall, this pattern has printed out perfectly. And even the level that we wicked down to, even though we slightly overshot it, it's right around the same liquidity wick from the first shoulder, which is very bullish on the second shoulder retest of those lows. So again, what should we be watching for? Well, if we're looking at the daily on the XRP chart, we don't want to actually close below the first shoulder candle bodies. So losing $2.25, it's actually like $2.24.5. We don't want to lose that on the daily. We should not close below that on the daily for this pattern to be validated. So I'm definitely going to be watching that closely. And by the way, the failed breakout, yeah, that's just a liquidity wick to the upside. Our actual daily candle closes were right around $2.57 almost. So again, we didn't actually have a bullish candle body close on those days, even though we were pumping to the upside. That's why it's always crucial to focus on daily candle closes, because we still have that bearish pattern printed on the chart where we have a high up here, a lower high, followed by another lower high. The good news is that if we do continue to close above this $2.24.5, then we will start printing in higher lows on this chart, aka it's technically a bullish structure for XRP. But we'll have to watch that and address it over the coming days. Again, if you don't care about lower time frame trading or trading in general, then this doesn't really matter. TA doesn't really matter to you. It's more so, macro and what happens over time. In my opinion, XRP is still very bullish. The overall market is still very bullish. I'm not too concerned at all on this pullback, and I don't think anyone should be. If you really zoom out, is this pullback even something to be concerned about? Absolutely not. We are so accustomed to seeing these types of moves in this market at this point. If you are in this this market newly, you're fresh in crypto, I get it. It's concerning, it's scary, but over time, you'll grow accustomed to becoming numb to these types of moves in this market. The market was red hot, so this type of move is not concerning to me. It's just kind of flushing out the system a bit and, loading up for the next big move. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.